Beautiful sunshine dresses the grid here at Macau for our penultimate race of the day. And for the first time, we've seen a second race for one category of racing. It is for the TCR Asia Challenge, and the umbrellas are out on the grid to shield the drivers from sunshine, and it makes a very colourful scene as the cars line up. TCR cars, touring cars, line up for their second race of the day. It's going to be the same race distance as race one this morning in very different conditions. It was raining overnight here at Macau, therefore we had a very wet circuit first thing this morning. They followed the Macau Formula 4 race, qualification race this morning, but it was still very wet. The race started under a safety car, so they literally left the grid and they had started the race immediately. And as a result of that, we've now got sunshine this afternoon and a very dry track. So we have very different conditions for our second race of the day for the TCR Asia Challenge. Lo Si-ho won the race earlier on this morning, car number 1, and he took the win from car number 22, and that's the car of Yen Trang. And in third place, right at the end of the race, was number 42, and that was Chang Wen Tong. That was the podium for race 1 of the TCR Asia Challenge here at Macau. As we make our way down the grid, it's number 65, Henry Lee Jr. And a wave to the camera. The grid for race number 2 lines up in a different way. We will definitely have the opportunity of overtaking, because Henry Lee is on pole position in car number 65 alongside, is on the outside, of beg your pardon, of the front row of the grid, because Ryan Wong in car number 93 is on pole position. Second row of the grid sees car number 8, is the car of Quen Quan Wong, alongside the number 55 car of Chen Chi On. Third row of the grid sees the 95 car of Hu Heng, and alongside will be the number 27 car, and that's going to be the car of Lee Ka-hei, who was really going in the first race. Lee Ka-hei, number 42, is next on the grid. The number 42 car of Chan Weng Tong from 326 Racing Team in an Audi, and alongside on the grid will be the number 22 car, and that's the car of Yen Trang. Away for the cameras, and David, a very different look to race 2 for the TCR Asia Challenge. We had a good race, race 1.
We did. This was the man that won it, Lo Si-ho, but you take the top 10 and you reverse it. So it means that the fastest driver in qualifying yesterday, Sean Tong, is the one with the majority of the work to do, starting 10th on the grid. There he is, and he effectively dropped out of the first race with a punctured tyre. So Sean Tong then hoping for better fortunes here, having, of course, led initially, made a mistake, hit the wall, and then got involved with a back marker later on in the race, and that did for the tyre.
A busy race all in all.
Yeah.
And the best that we could give him at the end of it was, you made a brilliant start, Sean. It was a good start. It was,
but it was little consolation in the end, of course, as there is the car of Deng Bao Wei. He is going to start 12th on the grid. Sorry, 11th on the grid, and 12th on the grid there is 21. And that is the car of Paul Poon.
We should expect more from him in this race.
Yes. So the grid is the top 10 times in qualifying reversed. 11th and 12th, well, because it was a top 12 shootout, they stay where they were, and then those that miss the top 12 start in order 13 and back. That's Geronimo Badaracco, who's always a forceful driver. And number 88, Honda, sorry, 68 Honda, James Tang, who should be also there or thereabout, to use the phrase, but again, thumbs up, he had a spin yesterday. 87 Audi is Chang Chi Lung, 16th on the grid. The RS3, another popular car in TCR, and further Audis represented here by Lam Ka-chun, the Macau driver. and number 85, which is another of the Hyundais for Cao Hong. So the grid is being cleared as you look down at Li Wangji with another of the Hyundais from the Z-Speed stable, this car, the Elantra 530 TCR. And 66 is King Reng's Honda Civic.
So, smiles all around, right the way down the grid. This is a great opportunity. 2 weekends of racing here at Macau for the 70th Macau Grand Prix, and extra opportunities for drivers to take part in this great festival of motorsport that we have in this part of the world. You can see the colour and all the razzmatazz of Macau Grand Prix down there. That's the number 15 car that lines up at the rear of the field. Chen Kai and the KMA Motorsports Audi. And as the personnel from the grid file their way through the gates in the pit wall, very soon we will have a clear grid and get ready to get this race underway at the top of the hour, 2 o'clock local time here in Macau.
So Henry Lee Jr. Second on the grid. It is Ryan Wong on pole position. Kelvin Wong starting third from the Cupra in the hands of Chung Chiong. Hu Heng and Li Ka-hei come next, ahead of Chan Wen-tong. First time out with that Audi, but he went well earlier on. Yan Chuang in the Lincoln Co is next. Then it is Lo Se-ho and Sean Tong. Certainly a man to watch then, starting 10th on the grid. Deng Bao Wei comes next with Paul Poon for company. Zhang Han Biao, Geronimo Badaracco on the 7th row. The 8th row, Tang Chi Lun, and then alongside James Tang is Chang Chi Lung. Got Lam Kao Chun and Cao Chia Hong ahead of Li Wangji. Ip Tak Meng should be next on the grid. Then 77 of Ouyang Zheng Wei, and Tian Kei is going to round out the grid, all being well.
Chun Hao Wong looked very up for this.
Yes, absolutely.
Very excited about the start of the second race of the day. Only a couple of the categories racing here at Macau this weekend get 2 races. This is one of them, TCR Asia Challenge, and then the headline F4 Macau race, which comes at the end of the day, which we've got to look forward to. Gets underway in quite a time, because that will not get underway until local time 20 to 4 this afternoon. There's an hour built in for the build-up to our single-seater race. We have a long build-up to the Macau Grand Prix with the traditional lion dance and the introduction to the Macau VIPs and government, and we look forward to that next weekend. And today we will have a shortened version of that when drivers are presented to the VIPs here at Macau. That ought to look forward to. Before that, we've got 9 laps of touring car racing with the TCR Asia Challenge. Yes, again. Oh no, that car looks really cool up close.
Yeah.
So I really like it. It is. I've just remembered the car, seeing it up close. It's a banana skin kind of livery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's Ryan Wong's car on pole position.
And it's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ryan got involved in the Lo Se-ho accident last year, but hopefully will keep out of strife, starting as he is on pole position here. So there it is, the flying banana. And
I don't even know if it's meant to be a banana, but that's what it looks like.
Okay. Is Mr. K a local banana retailer? That's the sponsor on the side.
Well,
of it.
maybe there's the clue.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Grid being cleared, so they're about to be released onto the formation lap. And the same distance as before, 9 laps. Now, we did have safety cars, didn't we, earlier on?
2? I think there were 2.
Certainly ended behind a safety car,
Yes,
didn't it?
yeah.
It was a safety car start and then a safety car within the race from memory. But the field in a moment, set to be released. "15-second board just shown to the drivers. So Ryan Wong and their nearest to us, Henry Lee, about to be released onto this warming up lap. One last chance to have a look at the Guia circuit, and this time, of course, it is a much drier and a much faster Guia circuit for the TCR Asia Challenge to do battle on. So the field sprints away from the line. One or two cars at the back a little bit slow and sluggish away, but I think they're all got going now. James Tang's Honda was one that was not quite so keen on its toes.
Now let's hope they don't get overexcited. Now they've got a dry track to compete on. They were on wet tyres this morning. It was wet pretty much all around the circuit, wasn't it, for their first race of today. Dry tyres all the way through the field now. A fully dry circuit. Sunshine, and as they weave the cars from side to side, they are doing their best on this formation lap to get as much heat into the tyres as they possibly can for this 9-lap race, with Ryan Wong at the front of the field. They're turning into now Lisboa, the right-hander that offers us so much excitement, so much opportunity for overtaking. And as we saw earlier on in the GT4 race, so much opportunity for near misses. If you haven't seen that moment, which involved the car of Adam Christodoulou, recommend you watch back on the live screen and find the start of the GT4 race, because that was completely and utterly unique.
It was, yes. I think the Macau Grand Prix website offers a race playback.
It does,
as
yeah.
well, so you can go and find that race in isolation if you so desire.
Or on Facebook, the live stream on Facebook as well. You can do the same with that.
So options are plenty as the cars then wriggle their way downhill. So this one is the race, I mean, I know this doesn't narrow it down, but it's the one with the real drama, because with the reverse grid or semi-reverse grid of the top 10 qualifiers, there are people that need to be on their toes. In a sense, you want to try and get as many places as you can before Lisboa on the first lap, because after that it becomes difficult for the rest of the lap to make progress, but it's not impossible.
No, it certainly is not, as they head their way round through the tight and twisty section of the Guia circuit to the left-hander at Donna Maria, long left-hander. It's tight on the exit of the corner at Donna Maria. Oh, they're not there yet. Just coming through Police and then Moorish. I looked up and saw a left-hander and assumed it was Donna Maria. It was not. It's the left-hander they're heading down to now. That's the one. And through they go. Tight on the exit, as we saw a little bit earlier on today. That's the run down towards the Macau hairpin. Single file, always.
Yes, tight on exit there as well.
Really tight on exit for our pole sitter, Ryan Wong. Getting it pretty close to the barrier on the exit. And now the circuit opens up, gets wider, gets faster, gives them the opportunity to weave the cars and get that last little bit of heat into the tyres. The good news is that on this formation lap, they are all pretty close to each other.
Yeah.
So the field is nice and tight, isn't it? Which is good news.
So to be a standing start, of course, unlike before when it was the safety car start. So this time it's a bow-dry circuit. And like the F4 drivers who are yet to come, they get the two different track conditions over the course of the day. So towards the timing line they will come, one by one, staggered grid, just to give a little bit of space between cars for safety reasons. Even though the pit straight is relatively wide, it does separate them out and just help should there be any dramas. So
the cars round the final corner of the Guia circuit, line up on their grid spots, and we'll get the second race of the day underway in due course for 9 laps for the TCR Asia Challenge, all part of this celebration of motorsport, this festival of motorsport here at Macau for the 70th Macau Grand Prix. First line, front row is in order, so too the second, so too the third. The fourth row comes into line. The rest of the field take their places. We are shortly to get this 9-lap race underway.
Last couple of cars into place then at the very back, and as the field awaits then now the 5-second board will be shown once that final car is in place, which it is now. And so with 1 or 2 non-starters for this second TCR Asia Challenge, the top 10 on the grid in reverse from their qualifying order are going to be the ones to watch. What promises to be a great race is about to get underway. Light to go out. Really good start by Henry Lee. Really bad start by Cheung Cheon, number 55, as around him darts Lee Kar-hei, who was really good in race 1. Now, what about Sean Tong? Because he made a decent enough start. He's on his toes. So also, of course, is Lo Se-ho as they come then out of reservoir for the first time. Henry Lee Jr. leading the way, then lights are flashing. In second place is Lee Kar-ho, and then in third, Ryan Wong. So he made a really slow start, Ryan Wong. Behind him in fourth place is Kelvin Wong, and out of Mandarin they come for the first time, as it is game on for the race lead, and Lo Se-ho has already cleared 1 or 2 from ninth on the grid.
Yeah, a really good start by Henry Lee, and they're going to go side by side for the lead, and absolutely on the limit is Lee Kar-hei as they go on the run down towards Lisboa. Through Lisboa they go. Little bit of a moment there for fourth place as the leaders are already around San Francisco.
And more drama at Lisboa in the background, but that touch for fourth was Ryan Wong being given the hurry up by Sean Tong. Now, the fact that Sean Tong's already ahead of Lo Se-ho and up into, what, 5th place with Lo Se-ho 6th, that's impressive.
Very impressive indeed. Needs a good race here. He's going to try and squeeze through on this really tight section, but the top 2 have broken away, haven't they? This is a very determined Lee Kar-hei on the opening lap, and right on the tail of the very fast starting Henry Lee. The 2 of them together, tied together through this tight section. You can't really get 2 cars through this part of the circuit, but it has been done. And in a touring car, it can be done. It
can, if you race with respect to the guy you're racing with, then you are both able to accept the space for the other car. Of course, some drivers are better at that than others, but right now Henry Lee Jr. doing a very good job indeed. Didn't really shine in the first race of the day, did he, with an early pit stop when it was that mixed weather conditions of damp and drying. But behind him is a man who got a drive-through penalty in race 1, Lee Kar-hei. And he's hanging on to the back in second spot as they make the climb to Donna Maria now. And on that part of the circuit, Henry Lee Jr. just getting away a little bit, but it's really 4th and 5th and 6th that we need to be looking to see if it's Wong from Tong. It isn't, because Sean Tong has gone through. He's taken Lo Se-ho with him, and we've lost Ryan Wong. So somewhere then the pole car has gone AWOL. Has he dropped back into 6th, or is it worse than that? There is the yellow Audi, but that's a big amount of time lost.
Yeah, huge amount of time. It is a trio for the lead. It might be a quartet before too long, because Sean Tong has really got the hurry up on this opening lap and needed to do that. That was exactly what he needed to do in the first part of this race. And the leaders come round and are about to predict. So it's going to be 6 cars for the lead, isn't it, before too long, as they all 3 top 3 turn through the right-hander and up towards the start-finish line. Top 2 has broken away once again, haven't they?
Yeah, and Lee Kar-hei on the lights trying to distract Henry Lee as they come into reservoir.
Does that work?
Well, not yet, it doesn't. It's more in hope than in anticipation, I think. Henry Lee then having to give a tow now to Lee Kar-hei, who looks on the inside coming down to Mandarin, and that gives him the race lead. And in fact, Henry Lee even put the indicator on there saying, go through, you're quicker. Okay, there's no point me fighting it.
It does work then.
Yeah, yeah. And Sean Tong is about to make his move for 3rd place. Here comes the blue-nosed Honda up on the inside line there as they brake hard on the brakes. He's up the inside of Hugh Hang, and he clears Henry Lee as well. Superb. So Sean Tong goes 2nd, and Lo Se-ho is stuck in 5th.
Absolutely superb, wasn't it? 2 cars on the run down to Lisboa. Sean Tong really does have the bit between his teeth for this race, and is giving us a great demonstration of how to be decisive and clean on the opening part of a race.
He made a mistake early on in race 1 when he was in the lead. He then made contact with the back marker and got a puncture, so this is his chance to put it all right. And Lo Se-ho, who is there on the inside, makes a move against Hugh Heng. That's audacious, and it has worked as well.
Works. Goodness me, that was very brave indeed. I did say this is not the part of the circuit that you get overtaking, but in a touring car you can.
Absolutely. But again, you've got to be respectful, and Hugh Hang was. He thought, well, this guy's quicker. He won the first race. He gave him the room. So Sean Tong now is on a mission to get onto terms with a similar Honda of the Audi, I should say, of Lee Kar-hei. But where is Lo Se-ho? He is still 4th, so he's got to get past Henry Lee yet, so he's losing touch for the moment with Tong, isn't he?
Yep, and just turning through the right-handers, the 2 right-handers, one comes very quickly after another at Police and Moorish, and then onto the left-hander at Donna Maria. So what an opening lap, this opening couple of laps this has been for Sean Tong. He's put in the fastest sector of the race in sector 2 on this lap. And on sectors 1 and 3 and 4 as well, I beg your pardon, for Sean Tong. Lee Ka-hei put in the quickest overall second sector, but 3 fastest sectors for the flying Sean Tong, and he's bringing down the gap and ever bringing down the gap between himself and the race leader Lee Ka-hei. So the top 2 in a couple of moments are going to be tied together. What's the gap going to be when they cross the line and complete 2 laps? The gap is going to be 0.9 of a second, and now we're on the run down towards Mandarin and therefore also Lisboa. This was the last time that Sean Tong was absolutely superb. Took 2 places on the previous lap. What are they going to do now?
Well, he's going to pitch for the lead, and Lo Se-ho is going to have to pitch for 3rd place, but he's stuck behind Henry Lee, and you can see how much time he's losing. So he needs Sean Tong not to make his move yet and get trapped there, but he wants to get past Henry Lee, and at the moment the race 1 winning Hyundai just does not have the pace, but equally Sean Tong not close enough there to dive bomb Lee Ka-hei. So no change for the leader, no change for 3rd either. Lo Se-ho struggling a bit here.
The battle is on though, isn't it? Because Lo Se-ho on the tail of Henry Lee as they go through San Francisco. They go up through the hill, and Lo Se-ho was very, very brave on this section of the circuit on the previous lap to make up a place early on this tight and twisty part of the Macau circuit. Meanwhile, Sean Tong has closed up, hasn't he, on the race leader. They go around the left-hander at Teddy Ip, and Sean Tong on the back of Lee Ka-hei, and the top 2 tied together on this, the 3rd lap of a 9-lap race. Top 2 on their own now.
Yeah, they are. Sean Tong, fastest man on the circuit then. He's closing that gap down all the time. Took another 2 tenths out in the second sector. Took 3 tenths out in the first sector. And it's almost now borrowed time, isn't it, for Lee Ka-hei, because he knows that Sean Tong is coming and he's coming fast behind him. So before long, the battle is going to be on. Audi versus Honda. And Lo Se-ho, in the meantime, is still trying to find a way past Henry Lee and see what he can do about getting up with the leaders. This, in a sense, ought to be working for Lo Se-ho, with Tong being trapped behind Lee, but he's not there with them yet.
Not able to be as yet. And another story has emerged that Paul Poon is having a much better race, multiple winner here at Macau. He's put in an overall best in the first sector. He's up to 6th place. So at long last this weekend, Paul Poon is having a good race to look back on.
He is indeed, after crashing in qualifying and therefore missing out on his participation in Q2. Sean Tong was almost at the back of Lee Ka-hei as they got to the Macau hairpin that time, as you saw. Right, but the Audi is fending off the Honda, so as they come up now towards the completion of the lap, look to see Henry Lee, who is still ahead of Lo Se-ho. Now, yesterday, the pace of that Hyundai, you'd have thought it just glided through the field without any problems. Henry Lee Jr. may have let Sean Tong go by earlier on and may have let Lee Ka-hei go by when he knew they were quicker, but he's not letting Lo Se-ho go, is he? He's putting up a defence there.
Is he friends with Sean?
I don't know about that, but it's... I mean, it was really Lee Ka-hei that he let through first of all, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's right.
And Sean Tong went by as well. But now Henry Lee thinks, OK, I'm going to race for 3rd.
It's working in Sean's favour at the moment, isn't it? That's for sure, because now the top 2 go on the run down towards Lisboa. What can Sean Tong do this time? Nothing, because he's just a little bit too far back. He went on the wide line, the wide entry. He's doing the same at San Francisco. No way through there. So it's still Lee Ka-hei that leads from Sean Tong, but Sean Tong is driving very determined to take the lead, while we have Lo Se-ho still being held in 4th place by Henry Lee. So they're on the tight and twisty section now. Lee Ka-hei, he leads. Sean Tong in 2nd place. Then we've got the gap before we've got Henry Lee and Lo Se-ho in 4th place. I haven't talked too much about 5th and 6th. That's Hugh Heng in the number 95 car and Paul Poon in the number 21 car. That completes the top 6. Back with the race leaders now, and Lee Ka-hei is doing a pretty incredible job not putting a wheel wrong with the amount of pressure he's under from Sean Tong right there behind him.
Yeah, I go along with that. And Sean Tong trying to work out where he can make that move. It's not going to be here. So the cars now make that run up the hill then from Police towards Moorish. And on the hill, the climb now to Donna Maria. So you've got Audi versus Honda. It is Lee Ka-hei ahead of Sean Tong. And Lo Se-ho has done an absolute best on this lap. So does that suggest that the Hyundai has finally got ahead of Henry Lee? Because if there's clear track space, you can anticipate those absolute bests would be coming. Look in the background, and the answer is no, he's not. It's still Henry Lee in third place, and Lo Se-ho tried to get up the inside there because Henry Lee went deep into the Macau hairpin, so that's becoming a real problem for the Hyundai driver. He just can't make progress now.
No, and of course the Macau hairpin is, so this is an interesting point. The Macau hairpin is an area of the circuit that you cannot overtake over the course of the weekend, so it makes things even more tricky when you get to there, and the car in front has a bit of a problem. It's a tricky section of the circuit, but it certainly does set you up for the run down now where we are for the race leaders, and that's across the line and on the run down towards Mandarin, and the all-important Lisboa, that opportunity to overtake. So across the line goes the battle for third and fourth place, and meanwhile we're back with the race leader. What can Sean Tong do this time as they go through Mandarin? Now this is the all-important run. I'm not sure he's close enough this time.
He might be really, really good on the brakes. He might even get a bit of a tow here coming down to Lisboa, but Lee Ka-hei positions the car in the middle of the road, so there's no real chance for Sean Tong to go either side. He tries to force a mistake, but he still can't do it. The top 8 point scorers across the 2 races, rather than the top 8 finishers in race 2, go forward into the World Tour, the Guia race next week. Initially, the idea was that it would be the top 8 finishers, but then a change to the regulations overnight, effectively, has meant that points are going to be awarded in a miniature championship across the 2 races, and it's the top 8 scorers that go into next week's activity.
Which is a really quite wonderful prize for doing well over the course of the first weekend of the Macau Grand Prix this weekend, because to be taking part in the Guia race is something very special indeed. When you look at some of the names of the winners here in the past and the championships that have been decided here at Macau, that was an incredible move, wasn't it?
James Tang in the blue and white Honda up the inside of Ryan Wong and forced him out wide, and the pair of them ended up being split there, as well as another of the rapid Audis was able to nip up the inside. Right, for the race lead, they're still nose to tail, and of course Sean Tong now hoping that he will have done enough out of limping to the end of race 1 in order to do anything to get through, because if he doesn't get into that top 8 scorers, one way of making sure he's in the top 8 is to win this race.
Certainly is, and he's doing his level best to do exactly that, all over the back of the race leader, Lee Ka-hei, as they make their way up towards the Macau hairpin. Now, this is critical. He's right on the tail of him. A good exit from the corner, which he gets, sets him up very nicely for the run down through Black Sand. Speed increases, the track widens, the speed continues to increase as they go down towards Fisherman's and Arbend, the final turn of the corner after they go through Fisherman's. Through Fisherman's they go. This is the run down towards Arbend, the final turn on the Guia circuit, and then critically setting up for the run down towards Lisboa through Mandarin, the ever quicker Mandarin. So this is the end of the lap. This is the conclusion of lap number 5 now. It's a 9-lap race, and with a good exit from the Macau hairpin, it can set you up for a really good first part of the circuit, which is the quick part of the track.
Now we've had a change for third place, and Lo Se-ho, who has now done the fastest lap of the race, is up into third place. He's finally cleared Henry Lee Jr. Now Sean Tong, still concerned, may not qualify for next week, but he's about to go for the race lead, and down to Lisboa. He's got the inside line and he's got the job done, assuming he can slow up the car in time for the corner, which he does, and he turns in, and now Sean Tong takes the race lead. He was a little bit of a way back, like half a second as they came across the line, but he got a good run, a good tow all the way down to Lisboa. Sean Tong leads race 2 in TCR Asia Challenge.
And when you said Lo Se-ho went into third place, he did so. He did so in fine style as well, with the fastest lap of the race, a 2:34.2 for Lo Se-ho, now in third place, and now in the lead of the race is Sean Tong. What's he going to do about shaking off Lee Ka-hei as they head around the left-hander at Teddy Yip on the tight and twisty section of the circuit? So that was a really good manoeuvre for Sean Tong for the lead, wasn't it?
It was indeed. And a good, clean pass. No silliness. We've had another change further back as Paul Poon managed to get up the inside of Hugh Heng, who got it all wrong under braking and drove himself into the barrier. That was a very unusual off.
That was an unusual off and really played into the hands of Lo Si Ho. Now in third place with the fastest lap of the race as well. This the battle for the lead. Sean Tong is doing his best to extend the gap between himself and second place. And in fairness, he's got a bigger gap than he had between himself and Lee Kar-hae when Lee Kar-hae was in the lead of the race. So he's doing a good job here, is Sean Tong, determined to be on the grid for the Guia race next weekend.
So didn't finish race 1, but he's on target for a win, which I think is 50 points for race 2. And then behind him it is Lee Kar-hae, but you've got chasing on in third place Lo Si Ho. They come down again towards our bend. So Sean Tong's Honda.
What a gap.
Absolutely. So many years you associate Sean Tong with Audis. Safety cars being deployed. That's going to bunch them all up, and that throws Lo Si Ho a bit of a lifeline. We've got, it'll be 3 laps to go at the end of this, won't it, when they come across the line. So this is going to have to be a quick safety car period to ensure that we go racing again the other side of it, as there is Lo Si Ho coming towards the timing line. The leader has gone by. Safety car conditions will now be instigated.
So, a drama with the safety car deployed because they all bunch up together. Exactly what Lo Si Ho wanted in this race. This has very much played into the hands of the third place car. And as far as the qualification for the Guia race, it would be a tremendous disappointment, wouldn't it, if a race winner wasn't able to get through to the Guia race, because Sean Tong has done absolutely everything in his power to win this race, gained maximum points, has driven incredibly well, and now with the safety car deployed, we have 3 laps remaining. See, now Sean Tong has gone into the lead. An overall best in the first sector, 2 personal bests in the second and fourth sector as well, and this has been an impressive race for Sean Tong.
Right, safety cars picked them all up. Now we need to try and work out why we've got the safety car, who it is that's gone missing. I wonder whether it might be Henry Lee. I'm waiting for cars to come across the line, but the timing screen is not offering any instant clues, but all will be revealed in a moment. Yellow flag at turn 3, and then the safety car. Well, turn 3 is Lisboa, and that's Hugh Heng up the escape road. Is that it? Is that the only reason for the safety car?
I think it must be.
And I wonder, looking at those tyre marks, whether that was caused with a wheel dragging because he hit the wall.
You said it was unusual, didn't you?
Or he hit the wall because something broke and pitched him left.
Yeah.
But either way, he can't turn the car around and rejoin. And I suspect the reason we have the safety car is to get that out of harm's way, because if anybody else goes up the escape road, they're going to hit it potentially.
It's not an escape road, no. It's a danger road, so it needs to be cleared.
And bad news is that it's not quick, by the look of it, to do that.
No, so trolley jacks in place, little dollies need to go underneath the corners of the car to get it moving, so it may take the marshals, the recovery teams, a little while to get that car clear. As we say, we're on lap 7, it's a 9-lap race, and it is being led by Sean Tong, who is driving in such a determined style. He's going to need to carry that on as well. He's got Lee Kar-hae just behind him, who he has already demoted to second place with a great move down at Lisboa.
Here's the incident for Hugh Heng again, 95. Now have a look. He comes towards the braking zone now, and as he brakes, the car puts him towards the wall. It's like something grabbed, and having hit the wall, maybe there's a further breakage, but
it is
strange that under heavy braking, the car should just suddenly swing left.
No, it just changed direction. Something went horribly wrong on the car to cause that to happen, and maybe a little extra bit of damage caused to the car as well. So that's the reason for the safety car. Well, eventually the safety car is not going to go into pit lane at the end of this lap, is it? Car's being told once again by race control to close up the gaps, to get a little bit closer to one another. You can see why. Big gap there.
And we had drivers penalised with a drive-through penalty in the first race for the same offence. So Sean Tong leads the way. In terms of winning this, he's in the box seat. In terms of getting into the Guia race next weekend, he can do no more really than just win this race. A puncture retiring him from the earlier race today. The safety car's lights are still on, so it's going to come through with 2 laps to go. It could end up as just being a 1-lap shootout, couldn't it?
I think it probably will. We've got now, what are we seeing here?
Another reason for an incident. That's the number 6 Hyundai, isn't it?
It is.
Li Wenyi. So that car trying to get going as well. I think that's stranded.
Maybe not the isolated incident then down at
And if that's the police, there should be a crane to get that out of the way. And it's perhaps not as easy to swing a touring car out of harm's way than it is a single-seater, but the provision is there. Right, so 2 laps to run in race 2 of TCR Asia Challenge. I was just thinking to myself quietly how well it had been going earlier on.
It had been going supremely well.
Yeah.
And lap after lap of excitement.
Exactly right. Well, Sean Tong will be happy, I suppose, that he was in the lead at least when the safety car came out. Geronimo Badaracco just going through, shot there on the back of Deng Bao Wei. And the lead is now coming towards the Lisboa right hander once again. Feeling as though the pace is quickening at the moment, which might suggest a restart's coming.
We need that. We need that at the end of this lap because they are on lap 8 out of 9. So for the safety car to peel off into pit lane at the end of this lap would give us some racing to see the checkered flag and the brilliant prize that awaits some of the drivers to compete in the Guia race next weekend, on the weekend of the Macau Grand Prix, here for the 70th running of the Macau Grand Prix. Also celebrating the return of Formula 3 cars from the Macau Grand Prix on the 40th anniversary weekend, since Formula 3 cars became the machinery to compete at Macau.
So the safety car brings them around, and the lights are still on. We've not yet had any notification that it will be in this time, but it might be in that 3rd safety car sector that we get the notification. At the moment, the cars are still within sector 4 on the lap, so the timing sector, that is. And towards police, it's always an incredibly narrow section of that barrier that juts out, almost arm's embrace, waiting to catch you. Moorish, and then Maria. So if we don't get the safety car in this time, the race is going to finish behind it, isn't it?
It is, I'm afraid, yeah, and we've still had no indication on the timing screen that the safety car will come in, and I think we can assume that that's the problem down at police rather than the problem down at Lisboa, which potentially could extend this safety car period, although they are speeding up, I think.
Well, yeah, that's what I said at the start of the lap, and it will be in this time, yeah, so that's encouraging then. So it is in that last timing sector where the decision comes to switch off the lights. So it is going to be a chance for Li Ka-hei to fight back. Lo Se-ho in 3rd place, still hunting for a win in the 2nd race. He had a win in race 1 earlier on in the day, but there's always that feeling that race 2 is the more important, even though they're of equal weight here. But as they come up towards the timing line, Li Ka-hei could not be closer to Sean Tong this time around, could he? As we go green, then 1 lap to decide the winner of TCR Challenge Asia Race 2.
Look at Lo Se-ho as well. He in turn is tied to the back of Li Ka-hei's car as they come down, and they get the green flag to change position on the run down toward. This is going to be very exciting down at Lisboa, isn't it? Through Mandarin they go. It is still Sean Tong who leads. It's Li Ka-hei in 2nd place, and now coming under the attention of Paul Poon. Oh, goodness me.
Big off in the background, and Ryan Wong is involved in it as well. Red flag straight away. Race stopped because we've got 4 cars involved. All of that started, I'm afraid, with number 35 getting it wrong. Lam Kar-chun, he was hit by Ryan Wong, and then others got involved as well. So the race is stopped, and this is going to take a while to clear. As you can see, it was number 35, Lam Kar-chun, that lost it, hit the barrier, spun across the road. Ryan Wong, just like last year when he hit Lo Se-ho, had nowhere to go, same part of the circuit, and then others got involved as well. So I'm afraid it's 4 cars in the end. Race suspension, but I can't see it being restarted on the last lap. So
certainly not, no.
I would imagine that's going to be it. That's half your accident. Ryan Wong's going to give up on this place at this rate. 2 accidents year on year, same part of the circuit. Just look at the damage it does. It's only really when you see the accident that you realise the speed that they were travelling at. There's debris all over the road. Ryan Wong gets out of the car. He's okay, which is the good news. 35, Lam Kar-chun yet to get out of the car. Tap Meng goes through the incident zone and scoops bits of debris with him. The race won't be resumed. All the cars are being sent to Parc Fermé. Medical car on scene.
Oh dear, it's not a good sight when you see it's such a quick part of the circuit, isn't it?
Yeah. So here it is again. So Lam Kar-chun, he just loses it. Pure and simple. Can't slow the car down, hits the barrier, comes across the road, and Ryan Wong thinks, I'm going to go that way, but he ends up sort of hitting the brakes and spinning and being hit. And then the car that's hit him, look, comes across the road and gets collected as well. So look, Ryan Wong confronted with that car. Oh, I think it might have been hit from behind anyway, actually. Big impact. And then it's number 6 of Li Wengji that collected the third car involved, which I'm trying to identify.
So after the restart, of course, the tyres get a bit cooler as well, don't they? So
yeah.
You can't quite take these corners in the same way that you would in the heat of the race.
True, but that's one of the reasons that that safety car was speeding up. Let them do that, to give them at least a sporting chance.
Yeah.
But it's the third car involved is the one I'm still trying to work out. It might have been Chen Chion's Cupra. But anyway, in a sense, it's academic because the race ain't going to be restarted. And Sean Tong, Lee Kar-hae and Lo Se-ho will be the top 3.
Yeah, they certainly will. And Sean Tong could be very pleased about that. We could only pick out one thing to be pleased about in race 1. I think we can pick out everything to be pleased about for Sean Tong. He had a great opening lap, making up the places early on, and then the constant attention to the back of Lee Kar-hae's car to finally take the lead of the race. Into pit lane, onto Parc Fermé they go. Lo Se-ho will be disappointed that he didn't get the opportunity to have the final laps.
I'm not sure it's going to make much difference. I mean, if you look at the order that they've come into the pit lane, Paul Poon had got ahead of him. So actually...
Oh, yes, he did.
He'll be pleased
he did.
that he's going to have been given third place on the countback. But that Hyundai just never seemed to have the pace today, in race 2, that it did earlier on.
No, in race 1, yeah.
Just didn't look there.
No, you're right. Yeah, Paul Poon got through, of course, didn't he? The multiple winner here at Macau. And so much happens, I forget things. Do forgive me.
It's easily done because there's so much drama and often it involves the same people. So you think, was it qualifying or free practice?
Yes,
so
I know,
yeah. Been.
Yeah.
Right, Sean Tong, he arrives at the scrutineering checks. Lee Kar-hae behind, and then Lo Se-ho, the race 1 winner, for third place there, look, in the Hyundai Elantra N TCR. And 4th will be Paul Poon, 5th will be Yan Chuang in the Lincoln Co, and 6th Henry Lee Jr., who of course raced well early on.
So Paul Poon did get the results that he wanted in race 2. It has not been the perfect weekend for Paul Poon thus far, but certainly making up for it with a podium position across the line for Paul Poon is a reasonable way to finish the weekend.
Now, in terms of points,
yes.
Sean Tong might be okay here because out of race 1, Yan Chuang, who was 2nd, ending up 5th. 3rd was Chan Wen Tong, who didn't finish. Getting a replay of the incident here, look. So Lam Kar-chun across the road. Ryan Wong sees it all coming and thinks, which way do I go? But he's already been hit. Yes, he was hit up the back by Chen Chion, and that turned him into the incident. Chen Chion, in turn, hits the barrier, comes across the road, and then he gets hit there by Ling Wengji. That's a huge amount of damage to the car of Lam Kar-chun. And on impact, and again, it just illustrates the speed they're going. The cars sort of look like they explode as the bodywork flies, doesn't it? 4 big hits.
Not a good scene to look down upon. The other thing that I noticed, actually, when you saw the initial impact onto the barrier, you would expect a slight amount of flex in the barrier, not a bit. And that's a big impact, and the barriers here at Macau do what they're meant to do.
Absolutely.
Which is to keep everybody outside of the racetrack safe. That's a race winner. And Sean Tong out of the car, immediately pulled out of the car and indicated to go to be weighed.
So he gets the points for the win, the drivers from race 1, third Chang Wei-Tong didn't finish this, fourth Hugh Heng didn't finish this, sixth Chen Qion in race 1, and he will be given 11th, and Lam Kar Chun will be given 8th from that race on the count back. So he might have done enough with that victory and the mixed results of others to go through, is what I'm saying, into the Guia race next week. Lo Se-ho is content by the look of it, even though that car never seemed to come alive. Sean Tong's delighted though.
Do you think Lo Se-ho was taking things easy? Because
I'm not sure. I just don't think the car looked quick enough. He couldn't get through the traffic early on, got stuck behind Henry Lee. He's not the sort of driver to just sit there. Lee Kar-hae did a good job.
A really good job, yeah. And leading the race, fending off the attentions of a very, very quick and determined Sean Tong. And happy scenes outside Park Fairmate. Was that an arm around the shoulders to say he's so happy, needed a bit of arm around the shoulder? They're all happy for him, aren't they?
And he's been so briskly turned to the podium, he hasn't even taken his crash helmet off yet.
That's true. Happy scenes down there on the journey to the podium.
Paul Poon being congratulated with that 4th place and a really good turnaround after a crash yesterday. There goes Lo Se-ho. So we've got our 3 drivers, say the officials. And the camera crew not allowed to follow. So yet again, the recovery team goes to work. Broken cars, suspended, and huge amounts of damage. As we keep saying, it's only then that you really get a proper idea of just how fast they're going because of the explosive nature of the accident. So Sean Tong winner, Lee Kar-hae 2nd, Lo Se-ho in 3rd place.
So drama as ever in races at Macau. A win for a determined Sean Tong, and Lee Kar-hae and Lo Se-ho on the podium. Podium is coming up in a couple of moments, and we will get the chance to hear from the drivers in the post-race press conference as well. That's something to look forward to. So too, we have another race here at Macau this afternoon, something very much to look forward to. The sun has gone in a bit. It's become a little bit more overcast as the clean-up operation continues, and we did have a build-up of 55 minutes to our final race of the day for the Macau Formula 4 race, and they're going to eat into it a little bit with this recovery, because it's not just the recovery of the cars, it's also the dressing of the fluid that inevitably has gone down on the circuit. There'll be plenty of that.
And they'll check the barriers and everything else. But you're right, that there is time in the timetable to do that. They don't have to rush it. There's no panic involved. But what we will have, as you say, in the meantime, is the podium for TCR Asia Challenge Race 2. And Sean Tong doing a very good job in that race, as the podium shows the podium, showing the podium, showing the podium, showing the podium. So very spectacular image, that.
Infinity.
Indeed.
It always confuses me.
Didn't have any infinities in that race, did we?
No, we did not. No.
Different rule set for touring cars. But the pit straight, which lies for the moment empty of cars. It will fill up soon of F4 cars, drivers and teams. And then after 6 o'clock, we'll be full of road traffic. You know that
audio-wise, when you get feedback through a PA system and a microphone, what we just saw is the visual equivalent of feedback.
Yes.
That's exactly what happens. So you get feedback when you feed your own sound back into a speaker. I'm a sound engineer, what can I say? Very sound. Totally agree. So I can see that the trophy girls are about to step forward. Drivers are behind the podium as well, and the dignitaries will be invited from the other side to step forward, ready to present the trophies to Sean Tong, to Lee Kar-hae and to Lo Se-ho, the 3 Hong Kong drivers. And confirmation of the result. Declared at 7 laps. They were on lap 8, but it goes back to the last completed lap. So Sean Tong the winner, Lee Kar-hae 2nd, and Lo Se-ho in 3rd. Paul Poon was 4th from Yan Chuang and Henry Lee Jr. Then Wong Kwan
James Tang was 8th, 9th was Ran Wong, despite being involved in the incident. And then in 10th place, it was Chen Qion. Chen Wentong next from Deng Ba-wei, Geronimo Badaraco and Tian Kai. Ng King Wen was 15th, Cao Chiap Hong 16th, and Ip Tat Meng in 17th place. Provisional result, that is. So, as you look at one side of the Macau Grand Prix building, on the other, there is the podium, and there it is, which is now going to get busy because the doors open, trophy girls step forward, and TCR Asia Challenge Race 2 podium is next, and that will be getting underway any moment as the drivers are ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 70th Macau Grand Prix TCR Asia Challenge Race 2 trophy presentation ceremony. First of all, let's welcome the top 3 finishers to the podium. The second runner-up is number 1, Lo Si-ho from Hong Kong, China. The first runner-up, number 27, Li Ka-hei from Hong Kong, China. And the winner is number 10, Tong Wei-fong from Hong Kong, China. Congratulations to the top 3 winners. And now I would like to invite our guests to present the laurel and trophy to the winners. Let's welcome Ms. Christy Chung, Vice President, Events and Promotions of Macau Resorts and Entertainment Limited, to present the laurel and trophy to the second runner-up, Lo Si-ho. Congratulations, and thank you, Ms. Chung. Now I would like to invite Ms. Raymond Low, Senior Vice President, Property General Manager of Ultra Macau and Motor Clubs, Macau Resorts and Entertainment Limited, to present the laurel and trophy to our first runner-up, Li Ka-hei. Thank you, Mr. Low. Last but not the least, let's welcome Mr. Poon Wan-kun, President of the Sports Bureau and Coordinator of the Macau Grand Prix Organizing Committee, to present the laurel and trophy to the winner, Tong Wei-fong. Congratulations. I would like to invite all the guests, please move to the center, and our winners, please go to the top of the podium. Raise the trophy and take the photo together. A loud cheers to our winners. Congratulations. Thank you very much, our guests. Thank you. Thank you, congratulations, and thank you, our great girls. Would all the drivers please remain as we have the champagne shower time. Thank you, our great girls. And here comes the taste of the victory. Let's share this glory moment with our top 3 winners of the TCR Asia Challenge Race 2. A loud cheers! Congratulations! We still have one more to pop. Always the best moment to anticipate for. Here is the taste of victory, the glory moment of our winners. Let's do it. Woo! Congratulations. Thank you. Once again, congratulations to the top 3 winners of the TCR Asia Challenge Race 2. Thank you very much. Thank you.